Now we have chapter 11 with us, which is talking about writing negative messages. Of course, we are talking about the routine messages. So, this is writing routine negative messages. We have 6 learning objectives with us. The first one is 3-step writing process, as we know. The second one is direct and indirect approaches. The third one is ethics and etiquettes in messages. The fourth one is routine negative messages. Fifth one is negative organizational news. And finally, sixth is negative employment messages. Let's see each one by one. So the first one is 3-step writing process. We have already talked about this 3-step writing process enough. So this is using 3-step process for negative messages. So what's the goal? We have 5 goals. The 1, convey bad news. The second, gain acceptance for this bad news. The third one is, in spite of this bad news, maintain goodwill with the audience. The fourth one, maintain good image of the organization, although you are going to talk about something which is really negative. And the fifth one is, eliminate need for future correspondence if appropriate. If it's not appropriate, then yeah, you may be open, you may encourage, you may allow, you may welcome future correspondence. This is quite possible that if it is needed, then you may invite future correspondence. But if appropriate, then what I'll recommend that please avoid future correspondence. So friends, in this manner, we have 5 goals. This 3-step writing process obviously will start with planning. As we know, we must know the purpose. We must know about the audience. Medium has to be selected on the basis of purpose in the audience, and then approach, direct or indirect, has to be selected. So this is something related to planning negative messages. We have this flow chart with the help of which we will be in a position to understand how can we go for a direct or indirect approach. Let's understand. So with the help of this flow chart, we will be in a position to see which approach is most appropriate. So you have one situation, analyze the situation and message you have to deliver. First of all, is this an emergency or do you need to get someone's attention? You may have yes as an answer or you may have no as an answer. If it is yes, then go for the direct approach. If it is no, then do you know that the audience always prefer the direct approach? Yes, go for the direct approach. No, go for the next diamond. How important is this issue to the audience? We may have 3 options. One is low, second one is medium, third one is high. If it is low, go for the direct approach. If it is medium, then will the news come as shock? Next diamond. If it is high, then obviously you have to go to indirect approach. So, last diamond, will the news come as shock? No. So, go to the direct approach. And if yes, then go to indirect approach. So, friends, in this manner, with the help of this diagram, we are in a position to understand when should we go for direct approach and when should we go for indirect approach. Now, what is this indirect or direct approach? Let's understand one by one. This flow chart is in a position to guide us. What is this direct approach? Use the direct approach. What are you supposed to do? Open with the negative news. Give reasons for the situation or decision. Offer any additional information that will help the audience. And fourth, close on a respectful note. This is direct approach. And what may be this indirect approach? So in the case of this indirect approach, open with a buffer, build up the reasons for the situation or decision, present the negative news, offer any additional information that will help the audience, and finally close on a respectful note. So friends, in this manner we have two approaches, direct and indirect, and we know when should we go for the direct approach, when should we go for indirect approach, and in the case of direct approach, what are we supposed to do, what are the steps, and in the case of indirect approach, what are the steps and what are we supposed to do. Then the next step, 3-step process is writing. Writing, it should be clarity. Then you have to be sensitive towards the needs of the audience. You have to maintain or establish your credibility, and you can't afford to miss the etiquette part of it. Friends, we have options to use positive words. Normally, the negative phrasings which are being used are there in this slide. So let's read the negative phrases which may be used, and then instead of the negative phrases, what kind of positive phrases we can use. Like the first, your request doesn't make any sense. This is the first one. Your request doesn't make any sense. You're saying your request doesn't make any sense. Instead of this, what can you say? Please clarify your request. Similarly, the damages won't be fixed for a week. Instead of this, you can say the item will be repaired next week. You are saying the same thing but in a different tone and with a different phrase. Although it wasn't our fault, there will be an unavoidable delay in your order. Oh my God. Then the alternative method to say this: we'll process your order as soon as we receive an aluminium shipment from our supplier, which we accept within 10 days. Next, you are clearly dissatisfied. The positive alternative: I recognize that the product did not live up to your expectations. Negative phrase: I was shocked to learn that you are unhappy. Oh my God. The positive is: thank you for sharing your concern about shopping experience. And finally, negative statement is: the enclosed statement is wrong. Or the positive one: please verify the enclosed statement and provide a correct copy. So friends, in this manner, we have multiple options to write the same thing with a positive alternative. Please choose this positive alternative. And now go for completing the message. You know, you have to revise, you have to produce, you have to proofread, and you have to deliver. In this manner, you will be able to complete this 3-step writing process.